Hello and welcome to part 3 of the Team Yankee Swedish Force vlog, and we're at the stage now where we're ready to start painting our infantry. So we have 19 bases of infantry, which isn't a lot really. Like I've done an East German army and that was more than that for sure. So we're going to try and keep it nice and simple, a bit like the vehicles. Not going to do a lot of complex stuff with them. I have 4 paints out selected out here at the minute. Probably going to add a wash into that mix as well. So the first step is going to be airbrushing. We're going to airbrush everything a green, and the green I'm going for is Army Painter's Army Green. Because the infantry is wearing a different color of green uniform to the vehicles that are painted in that sort of darker base green, we have a little bit of a lighter green for their uniforms. So they are going to stand out. They are going to be a little bit brighter than the vehicles. They're going to stand out a bit more. After that, then we're going to take a black grey, and that's going to be for boots and guns, because they're not wearing camouflage gear, so it doesn't matter so much. They're not wearing any sort of like weird patterny stuff. It just seems to be a plain green with green webbing, which is an important point. If you want to pick out that green, go ahead and do it. I don't know it's going to make much of a difference at this scale, particularly for a tabletop ready army. I also have the skin color, which is a Citadel Kislev flesh. That's picked out obviously for the skin, so hands and faces. If I want to do the webbing, I might do it in my Vallejo refractive green, but I'm really saving this for the weapons, for the missile tubes and launchers and stuff like that, just to set them apart from the rest of the uniformed guys. So that's where I'm at with it. That's where my head is on this sort of thing. So what we'll do is we'll get those base colors down, have a look at them, then see what a wash does, and then after that we can move on to basing, and we'll discuss a little bit what we're going to do with the basing. So let's get stuck in with some airbrushing. So I thought I'd stop while when the infantry was done, just to talk about basing a little bit as well. But what stage we're at now is obviously the actual physical models are finished. We have the black wash on them, and after that wash was put down, I gave it another layer of that Munitorum varnish, just to help it all sort of seal down and be a bit more protected. The infantry, because their uniforms are basically 2 shades of green, I did go ahead and do the backpacks and stuff in a different green. I didn't go in and do every strap and stuff on them. I don't think that really adds anything to the miniatures. Not from a gaming perspective anyway. You know, from that 2-3 feet away, even the 2 tones of green are a little bit muted with the dark wash over them. But the skin stands out quite nicely, and I think they're going to look fine. So what we're going to move on to now obviously is basing. And for basing, I was reading some of the comments and people were saying maybe you shouldn't go too extravagant, like don't do snow or anything like that, because then you're going to have to match that, and it's never going to look right in the tabletop unless you've got 2 armies that kind of match. And that's something I completely agree with. So we are going to keep it nice and simple. We're going to base it all with, this is Green Stuff World's Ground Textures. This is their Dark Earth texture paint. So we're going to do that. After that's done, we're going to give it a little bit of a dry brush with Army Painter's Monster Brown, just to lighten it up a little bit. I didn't have any other ground texture paints that were a bit lighter or anything like that, so this over the top of that should make it look a little bit more natural. After that, then we're on to static grasses, or we're on to tufts. And I have 2 flavors here. I have light green in 6mm, so quite tall for 15mm grass. And then I also have dry green at 2 mil, so we get little like shorter patchy grass, broken up with a little bit of longer grass. It should look quite interesting, it should work quite effectively. But that's where we're at right now. We're gonna put all the basic materials down and let you see the infantry when it's all complete. There is going to be a couple other things, like I do want to do base edging. I think I'm just going to use the Monster Brown for the edging. I think that dry brush color is going to work well enough for that. Obviously, because we're running 3 platoons and an HQ, we're going to be color coding the platoons as well. So there'll be a little color tab. If you've seen any of the Weekenders where I talk about my East Germans, it's the same thing with them. It's just a little color tab at the back to let me know what color, what platoon goes together, what models go in each one. I know it's 3 repetitive platoons of the exact same models, but it's nice to know that I just, at a glance on the tabletop, I know what platoon is what. I might extend that out, maybe later on. I don't know if I'll do it in this. I might extend that out to the troop transports as well, give them a color code of some sort, or mark them in some way. I'm not sure. Again, you can tell me in the comments if you think that would be a good idea, or if it's something you do at home. But for now, we're going to settle back down into our montage. We're going to get our basing done, and then we'll come back with the infantry finished and let you see how they've turned out. Well, here we are at the end of the process. I was going to stop and show you the infantry all complete, and then I thought, well, what's the point in doing that and then doing an army reveal? So we're doing the army reveal at the end of part 3. And this is what has quickly become my dream Swedish army. I've got a bit of infantry, I've got a bit of artillery, good solid core of tanks, got some air support. It's a little bit of everything that I like. And it has been a long old process, especially with all that camouflage and deciding just to stick with it and just go for it. But in the end, as a lot of you guys commented in part 1, it does make a difference, and it really makes the army look a bit more unique, especially on a tabletop where it's going to be facing a majority green looking force. So having that extra camouflage in there really does make the models, the whole army stand out, essentially. One thing I didn't show during the infantry, if my lovely cameraman would come around here and give me a slow pan over the back of my infantry, you can see how I've marked and labelled the platoons. So using national colours, the blue and the yellow, to show platoons 1, 2 and 3, as well as the leader just in yellow, so that I know at a glance when I'm playing across the table from someone else what's what belongs to what. So generally what I'm thinking of is the 3rd platoon will be that extra one that's sitting off to the side as a support for the tank formation. The other 2 are going to be with the command unit and be their own formation. So all in all, I think I'm very happy with this army. It does need more work. If you feel like putting the extra time in, a little bit more detail here and there. I still haven't gloss varnished the canopies on the Vigans because I'm not going to. I might, I will eventually, just not on camera. as this is the end of our little miniature vlog series. And I hope you've enjoyed it, because it's been a lot of work, and I really hope the final product has made you guys sit back and think a couple of things like, you didn't really need that many colors to achieve that. You just needed a bit of time. So spreading that sort of workload out over multiple weeks, which is what I had to do for the camouflage because of other things going on, really helped keep the flow going. So a couple of hours a day or whatever, sat down, did a little bit more and a little bit more. And eventually you find yourself with a fully painted army ready to play, which looks great without too much impact on your social life. Do you really have a social life? I don't have a social life. And in the end, you have something to sit in your cabinet and look pretty, take to a local tournament and go, yes, I did paint that. I didn't pay someone else to do it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little three-parter. Stay tuned, because there's going to be another little parter coming up, another little vlog that I've sort of got in the works, which is going to explore another interest of mine, but I will explain that when we get there. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and see you again very soon.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.